What's going on, world? AJ here, and welcome back to a new episode of the AJ Show. It's been a hot minute since I did an episode since the Halloween fiasco of Haunted Castle. But we're back. It's Thanksgiving. It's Black Friday has came and gone since yesterday. And it's just been really busy with work and just stuff going on, that trying to sit down and work on episodes has just been it's been a little hard sometimes. It's been a little hard. But the show must continue. We must continue to roll on. I posted a short that I bought the Nintendo Switch 2. Y'all insane with the views. My goodness, it wasn't very long until I hit over 500. Just within that first hour. I'm like, what is happening here? But here we are. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. We got it. We own it. It's right here in the box itself. The dock is upstairs. I've got the console sitting right here in tablet form. And we'll kind of talk over it and show you some stuff about it. What makes it different from the Nintendo Switch 1. So as per usual, get yourself up every hour, sit back, relax, and let's do this, brother. First up, looking at this box, look how small this box is. And honestly, it's no bigger than the OLED Switch box that I have sitting behind the monitor here, that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom one. Yeah, but man, this thing is, it's nice. I'll tell you something. A lot of people gave it crap because they're like, oh, what's new about it? They're looking for something new about it, something specific that Nintendo usually does, something innovative, something new. This just seems like an upgraded thing, and really it is. It is an upgrade, But there are some differences, there are some cool modifications they made to improve from the first time, with the new Switch, with the Nintendo Switch, the original one, which I have the release day, 2017, March 3rd, release one. It's been through hell. All right, I'll just say that. It has been through hell. So here's what happened with this one, all right? We still have it, all right? I gave it to my son. He uses it. But within the last month, battery keeps depleting. It kept dying out and everything. So I decided to break down. You know what? I'm going to take a stab at this and crack it open, replace the battery. I did that. Things were fine. I messed up the little sticky glue stuff, so I didn't bother putting it in there. So it kind of rattled with the battery. Well, that was my first mistake, number one, because it worked fine for like a couple weeks, and then now, all of a sudden, this past week, it started acting up again, where it wouldn't hold the charge, and then I decided to look at it Thanksgiving morning, of all mornings, and I just literally got up, got my first cup of coffee, I looked at it, and I ran an update because it needed an update done, and I killed it. It was just dead, and so I'm like, well, crap, The problem is my son, he has a game profile, but is not part of the family plan. I don't have the family plan of the Switch Online service. I have the individual plan. So I'm like, well, let's rectify this first and foremost. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase the family plan. So I paid the adjustable pricing for it because it just renewed about a month ago or so. And paid the difference, got the family plan, created an account. And I'm like, all right, cool. But how am I going to get this to work to back up his games? Because right now, as of this moment, the games are gone. Gone. All of hours of Lego Star Wars, hours of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, poof, gone. But it's still in the hardware somewhere. So what we did later on, that same day, well, first let me back up. I went ahead and was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy the Nintendo Switch 2. And after debating, do I take it to a repair shop? Do I try to fix it again myself? And all this debates, or just buy him a new one? No, we're getting the Switch 2. I was like, I made a decision that we're going to go ahead and buy the Switch 2, get it done. There's no deals or Black Friday deals on it, even though Walmart claimed it was a Black Friday deal, even though it wasn't. It was still $4.99 with the Mario Kart bundle. And that's one I picked up and ordered and got on Black Friday as of yesterday, Black Friday. Picked up my order that morning, and This is it right here. This is what I picked up. But let's go back. I decided to tinker with this Switch again. And so I took it apart, pulled out the battery, put the battery back in, basically just unplugged it, plugged it back in kind of deal for IT stuff, because that's what we do. Have you unplugged it and plugged it back in, and that's pretty much what I did with the battery. It wouldn't work with the dock. I mean, all it would show was the Nintendo logo, and that was as far as it would go. And then it just dies. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with this thing? So once I reseated the battery, it came back to life. I was like, yes. So I screwed on the metal. Actually, I first hot glued the battery so it wouldn't rattle in there and get loose again. Because if that was the case, if what happened to it, then cool. So far, it's still holding up after 2 days later. So we're good. But I'm still kind of thinking it's on borrowed time still. I don't know. But so I put the metal plate back on before I put the back cover back on, and decided let's go ahead and get his stuff downloaded and uploaded into the cloud. That way we save his files, and we were successful in doing that and was able to get it transferred over to my OLED Switch. So he was able to play my OLED Switch while I worked on that thing, whenever he wanted to play it. So, but we were able to save it. So thankfully we were able to save that Switch. It's up in his bedroom now because it was on the TV in the living room. But thanks to the Switch 2 now, it's in the living room. And well, guess what? You get a Nintendo Switch original in your bedroom, kid. Congratulations. It's an upgrade. The game in your room now. Sweet. All right. Awesome. But let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Get off of that backstory about, how all this came about this week. And so I like telling stories here and there, but here it is. This is the device. This is the Nintendo Switch 2. Got the kickstand up. I need to buy an micro SD card, and it's not just any micro SD card. So if you're in the SD card markets, if you're one of those people that thinks, oh, I just need to pick one up, just grab one. No. They're all different, and I learned this with a few other devices. And this one particular needs the micro SD Express. For this one, you have to get the one that says EX or Express. That's what this is going to take. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. So 256 gigs is what this memory holds internally. You could double it if you wanted to, or you can go for the 500 something gigs, or if you want to spend more, over $100 to get a 1 terabyte. And again, they're like this size, micro SD, in this little slot right here, right there. That's the slot, and they cost that much because you're paying for the storage capacity, and of course the high performance of an micro SD card. Now this stand, when I was looking at it on the previews, prior to the buildup of, the release day of this device, this is sturdy. This is like metal. Now, the kickstand that was on the original Nintendo Switch that my son has, it's gone, all right? It broke, it's gone. He ain't got no kickstand. But this, realizing, that's solid. I love how solid that is. So that's pretty cool. Now, this is pretty beefy, too. This is bigger than the Nintendo Switch itself. This is a little bit bigger in size. The screen resolution is perfect. It's so clear, crisp. It is amazing. Above here, you got a USB-C port here. You got a headphone jack. You got your power, your volume right up here. And right here is your game cart slot. You just basically lift it up, right in there, close it. Cool, awesome. Same button combinations on here because you got your little arrows, you got your directional pads there, your X, A, B, Y, plus, minus buttons up there. You got your screen capture or video capture button right there. You got your home button, but you got an additional one right here. This is new to the Nintendo Switch 2. This is the communications button because you can do online communicating with people. I'm never going to use it. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be a feature I will be using. I don't care to use it. All right, I'm just a solo player gamer. All right, Zelda all day long. All right, there's Mario Kart World that came with it. So I play other games. I do. but Zelda's just king. It's just king. So the Joy-Cons are going to be a little bit different in coming off, and a lot more easier to come off, and a lot more simpler. This little switch right back here on the back of these, you just push it in, pops right out. All right, pretty cool. So you have one controller, you know, for like Mario Kart World. Pop this one out too, and there you go. You got two controllers, a lot bigger Joy-Cons than the other ones. So I feel that still awkward. It still will be a little bit awkward, but I feel like it will be easier to play with these like this. But thankfully with this Switch, the other game controllers that we have, like the Pro controllers, are able to sync up with this thing. So we don't have to buy any new controllers, all right? This is just, what comes with it, the standard, Joy-Cons that come with it. This actually has mouse capabilities, but I don't have a game that does that yet. So I don't know if I will ever have a game that does that or not. I'm not sure, but they're pretty easy to snap in, because the old ones, they used to just slide down. This one, look at that. They just click right in there. Boom. Pretty neat. So I love how that works. And it's the same thing because with this controller pad, because you can play it on the controller pad. So let me detach these again off of this tablet, and then I'm going to snap them into this controller like so. It just snaps in, magnetically snaps in there. You just push it off, pull it out. But yeah, there's your little controller handle thing. Basically the same as the previous console, but a little bit bigger for sure. So we are going to demonstrate this. I'm going to switch gears here and pull out my phone to film the rest of this and show you what the menus and stuff looks like in this console. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Switch screen here, and just kind of showcasing some differences here. Of course, we got the Kirby and the Forgotten Land DLC pack, and also the Breath of the Wild, which I'm replaying currently, and I'll be real, it's nice. The graphics are definitely cleaner, definitely more of a higher frame rate than the predecessor on the Switch, so it is nice. I have noticed they've added, they did this on the original Switch, which I may take a look at, but they've added a second save file on there, which is great. So I can go back to my profile, which is the Ganondorf up here, and be able to do a second profile or a second game file on that profile now. So that's pretty sweet, because usually I've been playing with these extra ones that I created here. Of course, there's my son's page right there. But yeah, so we got these two going on for the Switch 2 upgrades, and then of course Mario Kart World and all the other games that we got going on here, like Sonic Mania. The newest addition to the family here, of course, GameCube. I am excited for this. I'm going to open this up here, kind of show you some of this stuff that we got going on with the GameCube. This is pretty sweet. I'm absolutely loving this, because look at this. I have never played The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, and now finally, after all these years, after I ignored it because it didn't look great to me at the time when it first came out, so I skipped it and went straight to Twilight Princess 2 years or so later. But I can finally now experience the hype of what's so great about The Wind Waker. All right, so I'm excited to play that. Soul Calibur 2, never played that either, but Link's in there, so I'm excited to try that out. And Luigi's Mansion, it was a launch title for it, but never really got into the Luigi's Mansion series, so we're going to probably just take a look at it. Let's go ahead and get out of that and close. And just gonna, see what all we got on here. The N64, Bowser's Fury. Writers been playing that because of the hype of the new Super Mario Galaxy movie. Got Game Boy, Tears of the Kingdom. I have not updated that one yet. I will probably sometime down the road, probably after I do Breath of the Wild again, complete that. Not complete it, but finish it. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games. Of course, we really need to do a video just deep dive into each of these and showcase that. But, here's all the other games I've got going on here. Sonic Origins, Castlevania Dominus Collection, Advanced Collection of Castlevania 13, which was a game that was on the Wii. Decided to check that out. It's pretty fun. Metroid Dread, Sonic X Shadow Generations. That one also has a Switch 2 DLC to update that. So we'll probably get that at some point. AEW Fight Forever, it's okay. Not, for a wrestling game. I haven't really picked it up and played it a whole ton. Rocket Knight Adventures, that's classic. Did a video on that. As Your Door, Paper Mario, re-released from the GameCube, Bloodstained, Ritual Night, Curse of the Moon 2, all these Metal Gear games, Sonic Frontiers, Origami King, and so much more. Cyber Shadow is really fun. I did a video on that one as well. As well as Retromania. So, some of the games I got going on here. The Switch Online here. Click on these profiles. This is where you can back up your data and such. Or they should automatically do it, but this is where you can download your backed up data. There's like missions, rewards you can check out, some, digital crap. Special offers of products you can buy. You can buy this GameCube controller down here and all these other classic controllers. Online play features, don't really do anything with that, but the Save Cloud is really the biggest thing here, because this is where you could back up your gameplay data up into the cloud library, and then if this console craps out, you buy another one, you can recover all your game files, which is so much nicer than losing it all in the 90s or early 2000s, where your game files just disappeared. So you got your chat function, which I don't care. News outlet for any news updates. Of course, this makes you have to click on every freaking profile. But yeah, some news about some upcoming games and updates and all that stuff. Even updates for online service. Here's the newest games we re-released from the old consoles from back in the day. Battletoads is on here. Ninja Gaiden 2, so we get to play those now. And then you got your eShop here, which honestly, the eShop's so much fluid with this new system, because it was always such a slug when it came to scrolling through. Look how fast it just pops up and able to scroll through so much faster than the other ones. Here's some on sale games for probably Black Friday special, but look at this. You just keep going and going, and you don't have to fight load times and buffering. It is so nice. I love it. Albums, which I only did a couple things in here for my Breath of the Wild playthrough. Think about another video on that. Who knows? Controllers, where you can sync up your controllers. Virtual game cards. Don't get me started on that. It's so dumb. And of course, your system stuff here, like health, safety, airplane mode, screen brightness, Bluetooth, internet status. Parental controls. I didn't know about that. Accessibilities, data management, where you can manage your data and where you can save it and transfer it and delete. Controller accessories, display. Don't really care about the Mii's and Amiibos. I do the dark mode for your notifications, sleep mode, and system, where you can run your system updates, dock updates, and so much more. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. But it looks basically very similar to the Nintendo Switch itself. For the screen, different sounds, different, maybe some newer options here and there, like this game chat. And, but yeah, pretty basically the same as the other one. So not really a whole ton of difference. As far as getting the Mario Kart World to install on here, basically all you had to do was just simply go to the eShop. It's right there available for you just to download for free because of you purchased this type of console. So the instructions are right here underneath the tab on how to do that. But it took about an hour or so for it to download because it's like 40 something gigabits, I believe. And that's going to be the thing you're going to run into with this Nintendo Switch 2, because the games are a lot bigger in memory. For storage, especially if you do straight up digital downloads, which that's what Mario Kart World is. It's not a physical game that you get, it is a download that you get. So something to keep in mind, because you'll definitely want to spend the money to get a micro SD if you plan to download a lot of games, or if you just, like me, I like to get into physical games as much as I possibly can, but I know there's going to be games on there that you can, that you're going to have to download because that's all there is to it. Because there's no physical games. So for example, Cyber Shadow. Yeah. There's no physical card of that one in its existence. So with that one, you'll have to download. So that's where the memory stuff comes into play. So definitely want to get you memory cards for expanding your memory in your Nintendo Switch, which eventually I will have to do that. I'm just not ready to spend the money at this time. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a great, fantastic weekend, and take care.